Hey everybody, this video is part of our full-length The Onside Kick podcast. You can find that on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes. You can pretty much find it anywhere, so we don't care where you listen. Just stick around and check it out.
And we're going to move on into our final topic, Mark, and it's going to be the Cleveland Browns. And the thing we're talking about in this segment of the podcast is what round should the Cleveland Browns draft a quarterback? And the reason why I asked this is last week, the end of last week, I think it was Thursday, Hugh Jackman, the Wolverine, or Hugh Jackson, the Wolverine, came out and said, you know what? We're not really sure when we're going to draft a quarterback, but we are going to draft a quarterback this year. So I went to Twitter, the MVP account, and I asked the Twitter sphere, what round should #DogPound take a quarterback in the 2017 NFL Draft? I want to thank you for the 21 people who voted. Do you want to take a guess at what round most people in our poll said that the Browns should take a quarterback? Your choices are first round, second round, third or fourth, or fifth, sixth, or seventh. Those are your four choices.
Third, fourth.
That was 24%. Tied for second.
Ooh,
with second round.
Second round?
With second round. Second round and third and fourth had 24 each.
Nice.
Most people, 48%, said the first round. So that means either at number 1 overall or at 12 overall, the Browns should take a quarterback.
Yeah. I don't know. I disagree.
I said third, fourth.
I would say third, fourth, too. And my reasoning is that Cody Kessler, I think, needs to be given a shot. He didn't show that he was bad. He didn't look great, but he looked good enough that I think he deserves to have a competent line. You know, maybe to have a defense that is a little bit better, going to perform better for them. An
overall team that's better.
Yeah.
Maybe a running back if Leonard Floyd falls here at 12.
Could certainly help. I think that any quarterback, whether it was RG3, did they have McCown last year? Or Kessler, were all expected to do too much, and there was nothing there to help them. I do also I'm curious to see if they're going to keep RG3 around. Because why not, right? I mean, who else really wants RG3 that badly? And the Wolverine really thought that he could do something with him, so he might keep him around just to see if he can. You know, I don't think that the Cleveland Browns need to take a quarterback in the first round. Number 1 overall, it would be a terrible idea. I don't agree with it at all. Myles Garrett's the way to go. At number 12, to me, it's just the BPA. And there's a good chance that Trubisky and Watson are going to be off the board. Not a great chance, but a good chance. So who are you going to reach for in that case?
Well, for me, and I'm gonna be spoilery. If you're listening to us on Blog Talk Radio, this is a spoiler alert. If you're on YouTube, my mock draft is already out, so you can go ahead and see it. But at 12, I had Leonard Fournette falling to them at 12. So really, they were taking Myles Garrett and Fournette in my 2.0 mock draft. And to me, like if those players are available, you don't need to take a quarterback. Like I think I had one quarterback in the top 10, which was to the Jets, and then I had Deshaun Watson like end of the first round.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where I look at, and for my answer, third or fourth, if I'm looking at CBS's rankings for the projected rounds of quarterbacks, here are guys that have either a 3 or a 4 next to their name. Pat Mahomes from Texas Tech. Let's be honest, though. He's probably going to be a second-round quarterback. They have 2, 3. He might lean more towards that, too. But you've got Brad Kaya in the third round.
I like him. I don't want him to start, but I like him.
You know who doesn't like him? Dave. Really? Dave can't stand Kaya. Don't know. Ask Dave. I just know he was telling me it was either Thursday or Friday. Can't stand Kaya.
Kid's got a great arm.
Thinks he's not going to be a great quarterback. Another one, Nate Peterman from Pitt, 4th rounder. And a guy listed as a 4th, 5th rounder, a guy we mentioned in the Bills segment, Davis Webb.
Yeah.
Who could be the next Dak Prescott, apparently.
Maybe. I know Ricky's scared of quarterbacks with the last name Webb, but, you know, I don't blame him.
Like, there are other guys in this draft that, I mean, could move up, and there are guys that could have some hype. I mean, you look at Chad Kelly, who Yeah, he's injured right now, has a knee thing going on.
Yeah.
But you have Cody Kessler. Like, you can let Chad Kelly sit and give Cody Kessler a shot. Fuck, you still have Robert Griffin III on this roster. I mean, there are guys like CJ Beathard, Josh Dobbs, Seifu Laafu from Colorado, and the one guy that everybody seems to be going apeshit over, the kind of, I think it's D3 guy, might go undrafted, but Antonio Pipkin. That's one that I know when we first started talking about quarterbacks, there were a numerous amount of people going, what about Pipkin? What about Pipkin? From Tiffin, I believe it is. But there are guys in this draft that you can go after and not have to waste a first-round pick on one.
Of course. And it's just the fact of, sure, the Cleveland Browns need a quarterback, but they still have an unanswered question in the quarterback roster
You
right
took
now.
Brandon Weeden in the first round. Just remember that.
Yeah, you got
Cleveland.
to, and Johnny
You took
Football.
Brandon Weeden and Johnny Football.
You have to atone for your sins first. But no, I just
and that
think
Brandon Weeden pick came via the Julio Jones trade.
yeah, right.
So you got Brandon Weeden while the Falcons got Julio Jones. Good job on that one.
I think that when it comes to the draft, and what I always say is that teams that draft quarterbacks continue to draft quarterbacks early, and that's what Cleveland is trying to erase. They're trying to get rid of that, and I think they have the right idea of, at least seemingly, let's build the team first. Sure, let's get a quarterback in the second, the third, the fourth, but we're building the team. The team is what we're trying to build up right now. And really, if it's Cleveland, if I have the chance to trade one of these first-round picks, I'm not against that, too. I want to stockpile more picks as well.
Really, you know what could also happen? You could also use your second-round pick because you're going to have the first pick of that next day.
Basically a first-round pick.
You could basically take either Kaiser or Mahomes, whoever one falls. If Kaiser falls there, but you could even take Pat Mahomes to start off the second round.
Yeah, and I like Mahomes as well. I think he's an interesting option out there for teams who could surprise some people. But, you know, to me, where did the Browns take a quarterback? It's not the first round. It's the second or third one. I preferably would not say in the second round, too, because there's going to be some good talent that's going to help the whole team that's going to fall into the second round for sure.
Could even be a wide receiver.
It could honestly be Christian McCaffrey.
It could.
And they, like we said, they need a running back. That would be an awesome option.
It could even be either him or Deonta Foreman.
Yeah.
Depending on if McCaffrey goes to the Patriots. Like everyone wants it to.
Yeah, everyone wants that to happen. So, I don't know. It's just, to me, there are plenty of teams that want a quarterback. You know, for the Cleveland Browns, the big thing for them is, I don't think that if I were to guess right now, 49ers and the Bears are not going to take a quarterback in the first round. Those teams are going to want to take a quarterback in the second round, however, probably. So that's the pressure for Cleveland to say, if we don't take one of these guys now, San Francisco or Chicago is going to get them. Potentially even the Jets. But look at this.
If you don't get a quarterback, like you're not able to draft one early on, you have Cody Kessler there. You have RG3 there.
For sure.
So you have quarterbacks where mainly...
I think you're okay next year.
Mainly it's Cody Kessler because I think he needs to be given, like you said, a chance. And then you can go out and get a quarterback next year if you want to. And I know what people are thinking. But guys, you go ahead and you lock down that position, that quarterback position right away. But none of these quarterbacks are Andrew Luck. None of them are John Elway. I know everyone, I knew this was going to happen after that championship game, watching it. I'm like, people are going to fall in love with Deshaun Watson.
And it's understandable.
Well, it kind of reminds me of you're dating a girl. She cheats on you. And then she comes back and says she's sorry. And it's like, no, I can't forget what you did. But some guys do. Some guy, I hate being lonely, and then they come back and you accept them back. It's like,
sure, I don't see your analogy, but yeah.
Well, look at the track record before that one game. Don't let that one game decide, because really drafting a quarterback is like a marriage. You are marrying a quarterback, and it's one of those things where, I mean, now in this day and age, it's not a complete analogy because people get divorced all the time, and it's not as bad. Like back in the day, You get married, you come back, you get divorced, you are like shunned almost.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy coming back home, huh? Oh, didn't work out. Now did it, buddy? That's what it is here. You don't want to get married to someone and then get divorced. Nobody gets married hoping, man, I hope in like a month or two I'm divorced.
Can't wait for my next wife.
Like, I cannot wait for that one. Nobody wants that, and that's what you're getting married every time you draft a quarterback.
Yeah,
especially top 5.
I hope you guys down below in the comment section enjoyed Ricky's random analogies. But to me, yeah.
Really, you're the one that should be the one that has more knowledge comparing it to marriage, as you are getting married this year.
To me, it's plain and simple. Cleveland Browns, they have quarterbacks available on the roster that are not the actual answer, but it's enough for right now. Get the rest of the team figured out, because if you draft a quarterback today or you draft a quarterback tomorrow, no matter what, you still don't have the rest of the team. I know you're feeling the pressure because of Carson Wentz. You guys had the option to get him, but Carson Wentz wasn't going to be good on your team. I can tell you that.
And if you didn't do what you did, you wouldn't have had that 12th pick.
Exactly. So, pass.
For me, I think that there's 2 teams that are in the same situation, the Browns and the Bears. You don't need to take quarterback in the top 3.
No.
You do not have to do it. Just wait. And, I mean, the Browns, they're really going to be feeling the pressure in the second round, because really I think it's going to come down to Pat Mahomes. And really it's going to be either the Browns take them or the Bears take them. But, yeah, it's one of those things where I think the 3rd and 4th is good because, like I said, there's a lot of quarterbacks you could take there. Peterman, Webb, Dobbs, Kelly, Leafu is one that I like as well. Pipkin, if he can perform. We obviously have the Combine and Pro Days to work more so for me, the Combine, because I think you get to see them. Like a Pro Day to me is like a practice. You should be performing well at your Pro Day because you're really not out of your element. Yeah, very scripted. Remember when everyone was like, oh, man, do you see Johnny Manziel's Pro Day, man? Had the music pumping, and he was connected on everything.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, even look at, what was it, Gilbert's Pro Day, where I think he completed every single, or only had one incompletion. Very scripted. I mean, Seth Russell's another guy you can go after late if you need to. These are not franchise-changing guys, but they're later guys. And I think next year, because let's be honest, the Browns are not that team where it's like, man, if we had that quarterback, we'd be in the Super Bowl. You can draft what you need, make your team better, probably be in the top 5 again next year, and then draft your quarterback.
For sure.
That's what you can do.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up this segment, before we wrap up this podcast, anything we missed with this Browns segment?
No, the only thing with the Browns is, good job. You didn't shut anybody this year.
No, you didn't. I am glad that Hugh Jackman, the Wolverine, is going to get his fair share and get another year. And he actually got to work with some guys. I mean, Leafu, I believe Pipkin were 2 of the guys that the Browns actually got to work with a part of the Senior Bowl. So maybe those later round guys kind of give them some hope that, hey, we can wait on the quarterback because our guys will be waiting there. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know either on Twitter at Ricky Widmer, at the Mark Weber, what you guys think about the Browns. Where should they take quarterback? If you're on YouTube, let us know down below in the comment section. I want to thank you guys for listening to this podcast today. You guys get 2, so check out our Super Bowl preview as well, getting you ready for Super Bowl lead this Sunday between the Patriots and the Falcons. Last but not least, check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. We want to go to VidCon. Only one way we can do that, with your help. So check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. We want to make these videos obviously better for you guys, our fans. Thank you guys for checking out this podcast. We'll see you next week for our podcast anniversary. But as always, have a good day, everybody.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And don't worry, there is plenty more where that came from. You guys can check it out right over here. Click that video, start watching it, and just stick around on Most Valuable Podcasts.